It is February 11th, 2019. This is the Wrestling Inc. podcast, the Go Home Raw before Elimination Chamber. I'm Glenn Rubenstein, joined by Matt Morgan and Raj Giri. Matt, how's it going, man?
Check out the microphone, everybody. You shall be very impressed. Thank you, Glenn and Raj.
Yeah, very loud and clear, man. It's great. I want to get your thoughts on Raw tonight. This was an interesting episode. They really drew out this whole arc about Becky apologizing to get her suspension revoked. We saw a new tag team champions crowned in the final match of the evening, and definitely some peaks and valleys in between. So give me sort of your high-level thoughts on tonight, Matt.
I don't know about high level, but I will give you my thoughts nonetheless. I didn't like that with Becky. I not in a good heat getter kind of way. Isn't that the whole point, to piss you off? No. I'm more annoyed because I see them trying to fidget Charlotte into a three-way like you guys predicted. And that pisses me off.
And not just that, but they made her apologize. I just felt like it was kind of one of those no-win angles, because if she doesn't apologize, she looks stupid for not doing it. But the fact that she does without taking them out or doing something violent, just her giving in to the McMahon's request, it was just a lose-lose angle. I just felt like...
Didn't you feel that way, though, in the beginning? She was kind of being, like, jerky? A little bit?
I don't know. I thought this was one of those episodes where it hurt Becky a little bit as opposed to helped her.
Yeah, it definitely did. I thought so, too.
I mean, Vince McMahon used to literally make his enemies put their lips on his ass. And they treated it tonight like Becky saying, "I'm sorry." I don't know about you guys. Look, we're all married. We say we're sorry all the time when we don't mean it.
All the time, yeah.
Yeah, but just that visual of them asking her to do something and demanding that she do it, and then she does it, it's just not a good look, for someone who's supposed to have that badass, I'm going to, what's that phrase? Running to my own tune, or, whatever.
Rebel, fight the power.
Right.
All that crap. Yeah,
right, exactly. Yeah, and so for her to just kind of give in regardless, yes. That's why I'm saying it's a lose-lose. She's dumb if she doesn't, but it kind of hurts her character a little by doing it. Yeah, I just felt like they shouldn't have done that angle.
I just don't know where the hell they're going for this with this. What do you call it? Suspension.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll probably be like if Becky can beat Charlotte at Fastlane, then the suspension's lifted and she's added to the match, and it's a triple threat.
Just get 2 months of build. Why is that so difficult?
They just can't do that anymore. I guess you're getting that with Rollins and Brock, but you're doing that with a match where one guy's not going to be there for probably another month. I don't know.
I would have liked that last segment more if Vince would have come out and said, back in my day, champions didn't apologize for things. You showed weakness. Now you're suspended. Like Vince would have respected or appreciated her more if she would have not taken it.
Yeah, that would have been different.
Yeah, but instead of Vince being like, "Well, I don't accept your apology,"
Well, they didn't have to add that apology thing at all. If that was the end game, they could have just said, "All right, you got cleared," because she already gave in to that demand by going to see a doctor, right? So you got cleared, you're in, and then Vince McMahon comes out, and so you just do it all at the end of the show in one segment, as opposed to dividing it up into two. That being said, I didn't like the payoff, but I did like that they tried doing something that you kind of had to stick around for, and it was like the story. So and it had you guessing, because you could see on one hand her apologizing makes her look weak, so she probably won't do it, but if she doesn't, then what would they do? So it had you guessing. So I did like that aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, tomorrow I'm predicting it's going to be episode 5 in a row. I think tomorrow we open with Charlotte on SmackDown, perhaps, and Becky comes out.
She's supposed to be suspended. I wonder how long they can keep putting her on TV without it getting, you know what I mean? Without it just crapping all over that stip.
Yeah. I think Charlotte comes out tomorrow, gloats, and then Becky ambushes her or something.
You could do that.
But the fact that they bookended this night with Becky, they know she's the hottest thing in the company, and that's all they got. Seth was kind of buried tonight by comparison.
I wouldn't say he was buried. It did come across as really weak, I thought.
No, I just meant in the program, buried in the program. Like he was top of the...
Gotcha. Yeah. They kind of throw a lot of big segments there, like, the top of the third, top of the second. But Yeah, that third hour I thought was, was good for what they were doing. The revival match was awesome. That was probably the best tag team match I've seen, and with the tag team division, not just putting a couple stars together, but with the actual tag team division, I thought that was the best match they've had in forever that I can remember.
Yeah.
So we went from that. We had Becky backstage asking everyone's advice. Finn Balor telling her, "Hey, don't let it get the best of you. Apologize," which is what Steph and Triple H asked at the beginning of the show to get her suspension lifted. They did say she got checked out by the doctors. They said she'd be fine to compete after a little more rest. And the first match we got was Sasha Banks and Bayley versus Nia Jax and Tamina versus Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan. Now, what was the stip here? The loser was going to start in the Elimination Chamber, or the winner was going to go last?
I thought I missed something with this. Yeah, I didn't get it either.
Yeah, so the winning team went in last, and the losing team goes in first. So Sasha and Bayley are going to be in first.
Ooh.
Why didn't they just not tag in so the other team would get pinned? It was a triple threat.
Well, there's a lot on the show that didn't make sense. But Sasha's obviously still not cleared. So we'll see if she's cleared by Sunday. I mean, they kind of gave her a way to write her out if they need to. But yeah, right. She hasn't wrestled since her match with Ronda Rousey at the Royal Rumble.
Matt, do you think this puts Sasha and Bayley's chances of being the first women's tag team champions in jeopardy?
Obviously, if she's hurt, it's going to go to surprisingly Tamina and what's her name, Nia Jax. But I don't. It's your first shot with women's tag team championship belts, right? In quite a long time, in many years, correct? So you want to put them on baby faces.
Yeah, I mean, Tamina does have that legacy, which I think counts for something with Vince.
But they're both heels, is what I'm saying. So
yeah.
Like it seems obvious to everyone else. I think everyone else thinks that it's going to be those two, the heels, that win this. I still think it's going to be Becky and what do you call it? Becky and not Becky. Bayley
and Sasha
Banks. Yeah.
Although, what do you think about Raj's idea, Matt, that Nia and Tamina win and then Bayley and Sasha win them at Mania? Huge moment.
Yeah, I would. Honestly, I'd like to see it be built that the winners of this tournament get crowned at Mania.
Yeah, that would have been. That's originally what I thought they were going to do.
Should have. It spotlights the girls a lot more.
Yeah, but it does give a happy note if the baby faces win it at Mania. But right. Yeah, I just feel like with with the WWE booking math, Nia and Tamina winning here, you kind of think that they're losing this Sunday.
I hope so.
Yes,
yeah. And Bayley took the pin, so maybe she gets the win.
So, Elias, we talked about this before, the rumor, which Raj, you dismissed, that somehow they're cooling on him. But what was this tonight? I mean, Elias got, 3 false starts before finally getting a second. Yeah, cutting a heel promo with Lucha House Party. I mean, Lucha House Party is not A+ segment partners.
But it's something. He's on TV, and he got to nail one of them. Who was it that he took out?
Callisto.
But hang on, regardless of what level they were at, that was a full blown heel.
Yeah,
do you agree with that?
Oh yeah. So it's odd. He's been a heel basically since the Rumble. He kind of turned back heel without any storyline. And then on house shows, he's been working against Drew McIntyre as a babyface.
What the hell?
It's like, this company, man, sometimes it's like just the consistency in their storylines and their product. It's just get it together.
I'd be pretty pissed off if I bought house show tickets. Do you know what I mean? And they weren't sticking to what I watched on TV. That would annoy me.
All right. It's kind of like ignore everything you've been watching and just go with what we got tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the segment when it finally happened.
Yes. I mean, he's funny as usual, as he normally is. I didn't like him running like that, though. I know it's dastardly and it's heelish to run away. But, again, he's running away from 3 midgets.
Hey, some people are really terrified of the vertically challenged.
Me.
Yeah. Well, to you, everyone's a midget, Matt. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I'm 6 feet tall and I'm a midget to Matt.
Yeah.
Little person. We should, actually, that's not a. Yeah.
I know it's vocabulary and language is evolving. I feel like that's probably the last one to work out of my vocabulary.
Right.
Working on it though. We're all evolving as people. So Finn Balor versus Drew McIntyre happened. Now they announced there's going to be an Intercontinental Championship match at Elimination Chamber. Finn Balor against Bobby Lashley and Lio Rush, but he could pin either of them to win. I like that for Finn's odds, maybe of pinning Leo and picking up the Intercontinental Championship.
Well, why does he have to do that, though? If you're going to crown him champion, let him beat Bobby. What the hell?
Right. It just weakens the title. It makes him look illegitimate as champion.
Big time it does. And it's not like they're doing anything special with Bobby to begin with. He's not undefeated. They didn't bring him in as the new Brock Lesnar that like they should have done. So it's like, what harm does he get done to him by losing to Finn Balor? None.
That being said, I think Lashley wins, but
yeah. Wait, I think this goes to Mania. What do you think about that?
it could. I could see that, and then finally doing a one-on-one. The problem with Mania is there's only so many spots, and they like to throw a ton of people in these matches. So I can see a multi-person match for at least either the U.S. title or Intercontinental title or both.
Yeah, you're right. They do like to do that.
Yeah.
So in this match tonight, Lashley got involved, so it was a DQ, and then this was like they've done this so many times.
This just went forever. It was
Angle
like
ran out.
segments.
Corbin ran out.
It did take forever, and I remember thinking what I was going to say on the show about it, that they just did that to stretch out more time.
Oh yeah.
The false finish there, foot on the rope thing, that was just to get more time out of the show.
Yeah, it was totally killing time. It wasn't like they added anything to make the match significant or a stip or anything. It was just another match. So yeah, Lashley pinned Balor, but Balor's foot was on the ropes. Ref is right there, so it made the ref look like a complete goof.
Yep.
Oh, Glenn. There's two Glens.
Yeah, I have no clue why my browser was like, you must refresh right now. So this turned into a 6-man tag, which
look at you, Glenn. You look so down in the dumps in that middle photo there. I want to pinch your cheeks.
Pain of my existence, Matt. That's been the curse of my entire life. The 6-man tag, Jesus Christ, with this tonight. I mean, this went on 40 minutes when all was said and done, this whole thing. So we had Kurt Angle, Braun Strowman, and Finn Balor versus Bobby Lashley, Baron Corbin, and Drew McIntyre. Does it make these guys feel more special when they're all thrown into a segment this way? Even Braun, I felt like this really devalued him.
That's a good way to evaluate it, actually.
Yeah.
What did it do for Braun? What did it do? Nothing. It hurt.
They have cooled up Braun so much over the last couple of months. He's just another guy. He's not this huge scary attraction that he used to be, that seemed like just unbeatable and just like this dominant beast. He's just another guy now. I mean, he's a big guy. He's still strong and more protected than others, but he's not that many steps above a Baron Corbin or Drew McIntyre right now. And that seemed hard to do.
You know what was different a year ago is even if you could argue that these guys weren't big enough stars to carry the company, they were pushing them like they were top level stars. Braun, even Elias, I mean, even Drew for a period of time, although pairing him with Dolph, I think hurt him in the long run. But now when they put them all in the 6-man tag, it just feels like even Kurt Angle, it's like none of these guys are main eventers.
No, they marginalized all of them.
Kurt is the one that felt kind of small to me in this. I was surprised.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I was like, that's Kurt friggin' Angle. This doesn't feel like that's Kurt friggin' Angle out there.
They should be a bigger deal. It's like he's wrestled like 5 matches on Raw since he's been back, like the last 10 years. Random
as hell, though.
Yeah. There's no storytelling with it. And that's been my biggest problem with WWE lately is the storytelling. They have it with the Becky thing. I thought that was good. And that was it. The rest of this was just killing time. And the Revival and Chad Gable and Bobby Roode, they had an awesome match, but it was, we'll see where they go with it. We've seen how they treat their tag teams.
Yeah.
But anyway, I just feel like with Drew, it seemed like a no-brainer when he was on the Ascension. They marginalized him. Bobby Lashley's just there. None of these guys are main eventers right now.
Maybe it's the reason. I don't know why, but for me though, Drew still feels a little special though.
Yeah, I mean he doesn't feel like
I can still see him being world champion.
Right, he doesn't feel like Apollo Crews yet, but he doesn't feel as hot as he did, 4 months ago.
Gotcha.
It's unfortunate. I think with Braun especially, Braun should be at the level. I mean, I don't know. With Seth and Dean, I mean, what's the hierarchy now?
Manny, we should be talking about Braun Strowman winning the title or defending the title at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
By now.
Yeah. I mean, him and Brock, they never went to that. They had Brock basically squash him, and Braun never get his revenge.
I still can't believe that. I still can't get over that.
Yeah.
I have never been so wrong about an outcome of a match in my life, I don't think, than that match.
Yeah.
I was so off.
With Braun, I mean, at Great Balls of Fire, it probably should have happened. The first time.
They were overseas?
No, that was the first time.
30 seconds.
Oh, the Greatest Royal Rumble? No, Crown Jewel.
That one.
Yeah, that was the one where he squashed.
Like, I didn't expect that. And yes, Great Balls of Fire, when he started picking up, pardon the pun, but fire. We said so many different times we thought Braun was going to win the big one and finally beat Brock. It made sense. He was built perfectly to do it. Everything was lined up, and then no.
Yeah.
And then no again. And then no, the 6-way, I think it was, which I thought he was going to win it in that because they had somebody to take the fall for Brock, but no.
And now
they did have that. What's up?
Oh, now he's facing Baron Corbin this Sunday at Elimination.
What the freak?
Yeah. Oh, well.
I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what their plan is, which I feel like we could say a lot of the time, but it just doesn't. I don't know. It's not. This is not unpredictable in an exciting way. So Finn, Braun, and Kurt won. Balor won that with coup de grace on Lashley for the pin to win. So that seems to signal that Bobby's going to win on Sunday.
Did you see the smile at the very end by Finn Balor, who just got his ass handed to him in that match, was on the cell, still got his pearly whites showing, smiling at the end, holding their hands up when he was watching the replay on the screen. And they pan to his view of the three of them holding their hands up in victory, and he starts like the huge smile again.
Do you think he has like a hidden earpiece where Vince is just in the back like, smile, damn it?
Yes, I do.
You're not smiling.
Everybody loves a handsome guy who smiles, pal.
Good Lord.
It looks like remember when DDP came back to WWE, he was out for a little bit and he had that big smiling gimmick.
Weird as hell and annoying, but yes.
Yeah, like it was supposed to be over the top cheesy. That's what Finn looks like sometimes.
Yep. That was another character that drove me nuts though. How could they screw up? I remember thinking.
Oh, DDP?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We went from that coming soon video update on Kevin Owens.
What was that about? Like at first I was going to say, hey guys, finally you can see the tattoos I was telling you about that he got on his arm. And then he lost some weight. Mm-hmm. I told you guys I seen him at the Performance Center. He lost a good amount of weight. He looked in good shape. But what the freak was that with the damn bowling and stuff? Like,
I would rather watch 15 minutes of that, take it off that 6-man tag match.
Okay, fine, but I don't want to see him bowl a gutter ball. There's something to be said about this. Is going to sound corny, and I'm stuck in the 80s or whatever, but I don't care. There's something to be said about professional athletes, or especially professional wrestlers, being superheroes or supervillains. Being that I in my head, they're good at whatever they do for some reason. I don't know why. It just is that way in my head. When I was a kid and I watched wrestlers like Mr. Perfect or, anybody else out there. I don't want to see him go out and throw some damn gutter ball.
Yeah, talk about making him look so unathletic. I mean,
ordinary.
Yeah. He looked like a regular guy you'd picture drinking a pitcher of beer at the bowling alley.
Okay, I like the stuff with his family that makes him relatable in a good, positive way, right? But then that's when they need to cut that crap off and protect him a little bit more and don't make him too ordinary, which is what they did.
Right. And I'm all for him being a babyface and if they want to do stuff with his family, but making him look goofy by getting a gutter ball in a bowling. It's not the most athletic.
No, exactly. Right,
So,
Raj, that's it.
Yeah. I don't know. WWE, I don't know. I worry about Kevin Owens as a babyface just because WWE is so bad with booking babyfaces.
In writing, they're terrible at writing for him.
And you see this segment.
And he's funny as hell.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's the thing. I think they're going to keep treating him like a cartoon villain and have him getting locked in porta potties.
Oh.
You know, have the sad trombone music play every time that he loses.
What am I missing here? What was so bad about the KO that came in, beat Cena, but talked mad crap along the way, was entertaining, he was funny.
Killed Jericho. That
in the sidelines when he's in tag team matches. He's hilarious. I don't get it. Stuff with Jericho, like you said.
Yeah.
He's
I don't know.
witty. Just stay out of it. See, you know what I mean, guys? There's some people that are talented enough to where you just stay out of their way. And I would imagine someone like that would be fun to write for.
Right.
If you did write for him.
I think he should go back to SmackDown. I mean, with Sammy or without. But I think that's where they put him. He was better there. He became more of a joke when he came back to Raw.
He got in really good shape, though, guys. He looks really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see. I want to take a moment, thank a new sponsor of the Wrestling Inc. podcast, and that's Wix. WIX. Wix is a place, if you need a website, you need to build one. Forget coding it yourself. Forget paying someone else to do it. Sign up at Wix because over 140 million people use Wix for their website, including myself and Raj Giri. Your wife has used Wix before. You could start and publish your website for free. They have over 500 stunning templates, or you could start building from scratch using their drag and drop editor. You could change, customize, and add anything you want. Add your own text, images, videos, and more. There are hundreds of design features and apps to grow your brand online, including SEO tools, e-commerce tools, mailing list tools, and more. And everything is automatically optimized for any device, so it's desktop or mobile. It's responsive. I used Wix just a few months ago when my friend was running for city council. We built his campaign website on Wix. It was great. We found out all the other candidates spent a ton of money paying someone to do their website. We did it in Wix in a couple of hours, and ours looked like the most professional one in the campaign. I know a lot of business people that use Wix for business, and it looks great for their personal online web presence. What did your wife use it for, Raj?
Her yoga site, her yoga business is called Yoga with Anjali. It's ANJLI.com. Yeah, she came to me. She's like, "Will you build this website for me?"
Oh,
like,
the dreaded call. The dreaded call.
Like, I'm so swamped, I can't do it. I kept putting it off. I was like, "All right."
What a heel.
Yeah, I'm like,
you
I'll
don't
do
know
it.
the burden, Matt, of being a tech savvy guy. Everybody calls you. The computer has a problem. They need a website. They can't figure out Twitter.
Mrs. Giri, you're supposed to be first on the list. Just saying. That's horrible. Right?
She was. I mean, that on my coding list, she was first. But people told me about Wix. I'd been hearing about it, so I asked her to take a look at it. She's not very tech savvy, and she made. Her website looks great, and she made that within a couple of hours. And the theme, it's an awesome site, and she made that just so quick using
You don't
Wix.
have to pay anything.
Well, no. So there is you can start for free, and then once you like your site, you then to publish it and get your domain name connected to it, then you pay. But we have a deal for our listeners when they go to Wix.com, WIX.com/podcast. Meta, right? WIX.com/podcast. They can get 10% off, and Wix is great. Like I said, millions of businesses use it. Over 140 million people use it for their websites, and you can get started, published for free. But yeah, hook up that domain. You're going to want to upgrade. It's a really good deal. I really like it. Glad to have them as a sponsor. This is we're really blessed in this podcast that I believe 100% in all of our sponsors, and Wix is fantastic. WIX.com/podcast. I use it. Raj's wife uses it. And soon you'll use it when you go to WIX.com/podcast. Save 10% off. Get started today at Wix.com/podcast. And we thank them for sponsoring the podcast.
And let them know that Wrestling Inc. sent you.
Absolutely. Cool, man. God, building websites. I remember, Raj, when you first built Wrestling Inc., was that all completely coded by hand?
It currently is coded by hand. That's not a CMS. That's all me.
Wow.
Yeah. So I make it all the changes, upgrades, everything.
That's insane. Could you imagine 20 years ago if there'd been tools like Wix.com?
I know. I need to switch so I can save myself some time.
I remember doing HTML coding in Notepad.
Yeah. I remember using Front Page back in the day.
Ooh, old school. Okay, so tonight we got Ruby Riott versus Nikki Cross before Ruby faces Ronda Rousey an Elimination Chamber on Sunday. I mean, it'll probably be a good match, but short of some crazy interference, I mean, there's no way in hell Ruby's going over Ronda, right?
No.
This is me stabbing myself in the eyeball with the microphone. I did not want to watch that match. I really did not want to watch that match tonight. And honestly, I'm not interested in the slightest to see her versus Rousey this weekend either.
Yeah.
And
I don't know why, guys. I don't know why. I know she's good. She's talented. Glenn, you've always been a pretty big fan and proponent of hers, but I don't know what it is about her that's a drop-off for me lately.
And everyone knew that Ruby's going to win here. That's the only sensical thing, right? She's facing Ronda next Sunday. Why have her in this long match that everyone knows she's going to win? Give her someone like, I don't know, Mickie James or Alicia Fox that she could beat in a shorter match.
Right? Because she needs somebody to move her up.
Right, yes.
And Ronda, that's a good call.
Yeah, there's so many women they could use. Instead, they use Nikki.
Who just came out, who just debuted not that long ago. She's still cutting her teeth.
Yeah. Has she won? She hasn't won on TV yet, has she?
One of the tag matches when she was with Bayley and Sasha or Natalia. One of those.
Right. Yeah, but not a singles match yet.
No, she hasn't. Ruby, though, I mean, look, Ruby Riott as Heidi Lovelace on the Indies, I think was one of the best independent female wrestlers. Heidi Lovelace.
Oh.
So Shimmer, I mean, she was one that, while the women's revolution was happening in NXT, she was one of the women on the indies that was really holding it down. And I think just advancing the quality of women's wrestling. So I think Ruby can absolutely go. I don't know if Ronda's the best dance partner for her, if they haven't had time to work out a really, intricate match. It would be interesting if they did have that time. I think they could probably put on something pretty cool. But that being said, tonight, Ruby versus Nikki. Now, this is another one. Nikki is really talented. I thought this could have been really, really good under different circumstances. This was just tough following that 6-man tag match, man. You put in a match like that just kills the momentum. It's very tough to get it back. And
giving them time, giving a time and storyline wise to build her storylines up more, our emotional investment in Nikki Cross more. She's still new. Nobody knew she was going to beat her tonight with Ronda Rousey on the horizon. No way.
Yeah, I just think when you're bringing someone up, once you start beating them right off the bat, it's hard to change that momentum. It's hard to shift gears. You don't see it often. You put it in the public's mind that this guy is someone not important. This girl is someone not important. And they're basically it's like they can't help themselves by making everyone Dolph Ziggler. And that's not a talent thing. That's a positioning thing. Like bringing everyone down. You get some steam instead of going with it. You bring them down. They just can't help it.
Yeah.
I mean, right off the bat, EC3. Oh my God. I'll tell you, second match in, dude looks like a superstar and he's losing already. He beat Dean Ambrose instead of giving him some momentum, having him beat anybody. They have him just lose 50-50 and it. He looked like a goof up until last week. He got a win. Made you think that maybe it's something serious. And then you beat him.
Which I don't get because he's leaving, I thought. So which is
maybe yes, maybe no. I mean, we won't know for sure until it actually happens, right? I think the speculation around that now is probably more interesting than a lot of what's going on in the programming.
To keep it going, you probably can't have EC3 just beat him every week. So, even if he is leaving, I could see them having him, getting a win here just to keep it going, and maybe they wrestle on the pre-show or something.
We'll get to him, I'm sure. Right? Is he next?
Yeah, that's coming. Although I had this thought versus Ruby and Nikki Cross. Did you guys follow Corey Graves' Twitter meltdown last night?
No. What did he do?
That was more entertaining than Raw was tonight.
Well, what did he do?
Well, he called out David Bixenspan, from Deadspin, a former Wrestling Inc. contributor, called him out. Started talking.
Works for Deadspin?
Yeah. But he was just talking trash about fans. He was ripping into everyone that was replying to him. I mean, he just I almost was is this a gimmick of some sort? But he was just going off. But that Twitter drama last night was super compelling. Raj, did you follow that when it happened?
People send it to me, but I mean, I saw what he tweeted. Some stuff about Bill DeMott, how he was a good instructor. I'm sure like at some point, I don't know if this happens to you guys, but most of the tweets are positive, and then someone will just one tweet will get under your skin. It just, just gets under, you just end up in a foul mood and but that's why I kind of stay off Twitter. I don't tweet that often.
Yeah, I haven't been on it much lately either. Same thing. Yeah. Stay off it. Not it messes with me. You don't care.
Right. Don't let the trolls get to you.
Yeah, no. Last night, I definitely recommend going back and checking that out.
I am going to check it out.
Something else, but that's the thing. I think when you have stuff like that happen, I don't know. I mean, it's like the thing last week with Dean Ambrose asking for his release, or the week of the Rumble. With that, it's like when the off-camera news or off-camera events are so interesting and have us all glued to our device and refreshing to see what's going to happen next. Then you have something like this, and it's kind of like, oh, this isn't nearly.
Hey, that's like Ronda and Sonya Deville. Did you see that?
No.
Ronda took a shot at Sonya Deville's. Here, let me bring that up real quick because that's more entertaining than any of this Ruby Riott stuff because this looks legitimate. So apparently Sonya Deville in the past had taken a shot at Ronda Rousey losing. So Ronda, there was like some video, like some fan video where she was asked about Sonya, and she said, I don't think if you can really call two amateur fights an MMA background when she was asked about Sonya's MMA background. She goes, she was never really a professional. She dabbled in it. She seems like a hobbyist to me. Two of them declared that they are in it, and good for them. If they think they're really going to win, they kind of have their own tension between them and have a lot of inner betrayals in their own team. I don't know. We'll see how well. Hold on a sec.
Who's he talking about? The two people?
I think she's talking about the Riot Squad. Anyway, someone asked Rousey if she should be saying that about Sonya, and she goes, why? She said shit about me getting kicked in the head. F her.
Oh.
So anyway, that seemed way more interesting to me than any of the Ruby Riott Ronda stuff.
Pretty funny reply, though.
It was.
Yes, and after the quip last week to Becky, Ronda's now selling Ice and Advil bitch shirts on her website.
Yeah.
Man, I know. So Ruby won that match with Nikki Cross tonight with the Riot Kick for the pin and the win. Got Paul Heyman backstage. Seth Rollins came out, talked about WrestleMania. They had a little retrospective of his recent career leading up to this. And Paul Heyman came out. I mean, having Heyman as a surrogate, he pretended he was going to introduce Lesnar. He's like, oh, he's not here. This whole thing, I mean, Matt, is this going to keep you interested in Seth versus Brock for the next 50 days? Having these two face off in a War of the Words?
Of course not. No.
I don't know. Again, I say this every week, but they cooled Seth off so much that I do not care about this match. And a year ago I did. A year ago, Seth was on fire.
As we get close, though, if we're a week away, I will care. And once the match comes, I'm definitely going to care. It's one of the matches I'm looking most forward to. I think Seth's going to do it.
But does it seem like a WrestleMania main event? You know what I mean?
I think they can steal it with Becky versus Ronda here, though. I really do.
As far as title matches go, you've had Rock and Cena and and Goldberg and Brock, and it's just not feeling like it.
But even with Goldberg and Brock, we still needed something else, if you remember.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
I talked about this on Twitter. Maybe it's because I just actually, an 80s movie I hadn't seen. I just watched Crossroads with Ralph Macchio for the first time over the weekend. And so I liked when Seth, so I liked when Seth said, what was it about, I don't care what I have to do, sell my soul to the devil to beat Brock Lesnar. I was just like, oh, wait a second, there's an idea. And I was exchanging with one of our listeners on Twitter saying she go to the Undertaker for advice in summoning the dark arts. So Seth Rollins can get an otherworldly force.
I will say this. We're probably the only podcast, wrestling podcast this year to mention Ralph Macchio's Crossroads.
It was a solid film. I feel like I was missing out on something for the past 30 plus years.
Was it really good?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I would have liked it as a kid, but
it's baby face him because you made fun of him, Raj. Stick to being a heel.
I like Ralph Macchio. Maybe I'll check it out.
I mean, he wants to learn the blues guitar. There's a legend of a blues man having sold his soul to the devil for his guitar playing skills. So when Seth said that tonight, it was like, why not do something like that and have the Undertaker? That's how you use the Undertaker in a Mania match without trotting him out there to wrestle again. You have him like mentor Seth in the build up to it. I don't know. I think do something different, because aside from the idea Seth's going to go out there, I'm the King Slayer, like, you know, he's going to do that nasally thing that he always does. Like, I'm saying, let's have a little story. We got 50 days.
Hey,
keep it
you know what? I don't mind that. I mean, not Undertaker using his dark powers and stuff, but Undertaker training Seth and, like, you know, having him beaten Brock in the past and using him in that role where you're doing like training vignettes with Seth and Undertaker using kind of his not the dead man gimmick, but his MMA background gimmick. I mean, that'd be kind of something kind of interesting.
But he lost to Brock.
But then he also beat him. Like, he beat him at SummerSlam, then lost to him again at Hell in a Cell. But the fact that, you know, he's competitive with him.
But that's where you get the better story, Matt, that then Seth is doing this not only for himself, but to avenge the Undertaker's loss.
Okay. That's,
you know,
pretty cool. I'll agree with that. That's pretty cool. Yeah.
I'm just saying something, man. I mean, I feel like the writers aren't really giving a shit with WWE tonight.
You do like a Creed-like montage with Seth and Undertaker.
Something. I mean, because with Rollins, like, I think they're in danger of making Rollins seem less interesting the longer this goes on. So I thought the high point today was Dean Ambrose comes out, and Dean, who like was in a feud with Seth up until recently, just said, "Slay the beast, man." Like, it was very weird. But that was a good moment. Weird. Yeah, it was a good moment.
Talk about a feud that just fizzled out and just went nowhere.
So we think they could be pulling the wool over our eyes with all of this with Dean Ambrose.
Yeah, but even if they do at this point, do you care?
Yeah, I think it's way too early for him to leave the company.
No, not about Dean. I thought Dean Ambrose was great here. I find him to be really entertaining, and right now he almost has that senioritis feel to him. Like he's not really like he's just letting it loose.
You don't think it works? Yeah, it works.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. I think he's entertaining. He's super entertaining. But yeah, I just think him and Seth, it should have been a blood feud where they couldn't even stand the sight of each other right now.
Should have been.
Yeah. So Dean came out tonight to have another match with EC3. I think we called this last week that this could be a feud. That Dean goes out with this, or this will be one of the feuds he has on his way out. But Ambrose picked up a win tonight. This match started to wake up the crowd, the teensy bit, but not fully. They didn't really come alive till the tag match. Right. But yeah, I mean, Matt, to your point, I think the unpredictability of what's going on with Dean Ambrose is perhaps, aside from Becky Lynch, the most interesting thing in the WWE right now.
Yeah, Raj said that. I give him credit. But yeah, it is. It is the most interesting thing in the damn company at the moment, I think.
And plus, yeah, kind of knowing that he's probably on his way out unless they're swerving or he ends up changing his mind and re-signing. You're just kind of wondering how they're going to use him. It's like, are they going to have him just get jobbed out?
Yeah, and also, what is he going to say?
Right, yeah. So I found this I hated that they beat EC3 already.
Me too.
I hate that formulaic WWE feud where you just keep trading wins and that's your feud. It's just people going back and forth, beating each other.
But we do need to talk about this. He does look very uncomfortable.
EC3?
Yes, doing his shtick here. He looks very uncomfortable.
He didn't cut a promo, though, right?
Huh?
They're not really letting him talk.
Yeah, they haven't let him talk yet, which is so weird.
They're screwing with him. They're making him do stupid things in his entrance. They're making him make these weird-ass faces. And here's the thing. When he makes his sarcastic, smart-alecky faces, they work because of the promos that were built behind it.
Right.
WWE Universe is probably just going like, and who haven't seen him in TNA are like, well, what the hell? Well, this dude makes some weird-ass faces. What is he doing? It's
almost like they're planning, like, when he finally cuts a promo, there's going to be some swerve, like he stutters.
Right. It's like there's something there that we're
right. Like they're holding it off to have some sort of joke to make him,
horrible because he looks like $1 million.
Yeah, I think they just need to establish his character more, and I think
we don't know what it is.
Yeah. Well, what they had Alexa Bliss talking about, but she was flirting with him last week. He's got a lot of money. That's a defining characteristic.
Is that what she said?
Yeah. Right. She did that thing where she said you've got a big ... bank account or wallet or something like that. I mean, I don't know. In their mind, that's character development.
You look back at go back and go on YouTube and look at the Razor Ramon promos, and then look at EC3, right? And EC3 has got the look, he's got the physique. There's no reason that they couldn't have put more into his. They ran the same promo every week. It's him getting dressed into his tights, or take off his clothes into his tights. They could have done so much more with those promos. I just feel like this is a golden opportunity. They're slowly letting go to waste.
I don't know why they're not in great standing where they have all these super duper main eventers. Like they can afford to do what they used to do, which is, Cena and Orton are stuck at our main eventers on each show, so we're set for the next 10 years. That's what it was when I was there. And but now they don't have that luxury. They don't have that.
No.
So they can't be messing around with talents, especially potential main eventers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
and someone in the chat pointing out EC3 and TNA was a million times better. He was.
God, yeah.
I don't know. So Ambrose got the roll up out of nowhere tonight to win. And then we had Alexa Bliss, Becky backstage. Becky talked to Ronda. Everyone giving Becky advice about what she should do tonight. A lot made of this apology segment that closed the show. But before that, Raw Tag Team title match, The Revival versus Chad Gable and Bobby Roode. I tweeted, if not tonight, then when? Perhaps never. Like Charlie Brown in the football, we've been teased so much. But after a nice lengthy match tonight, The Revival, Dash and Dawson are the new Raw Tag Team champions. Matt, how do you feel about this long overdue victory?
This is the first time, huh?
On the main roster, yeah.
Yes, I wasn't sure if they won it for like a night and then lost it the next night or something like that before they got injured a while back. Awesome, great match. I cannot stand, however, what's his name coming out and doing Bobby's entrance and wearing the robe.
Oh, Gable.
I can't stand it. What is it about?
Now's the time for Bobby to turn on him.
Come on,
please.
Isn't that ridiculous? Don't you guys think?
Yeah. Anytime you have someone doing someone else's shtick, like when they had AJ Styles doing Ric Flair in TNA, and
the dude right next to him, the dude right next to what he's copying.
It just makes you look second rate.
It's just weird.
Except for Mizdow, that worked really well.
That was hilarious,
right? But that was meant to be comedy.
That was so good. But yeah.
Yeah, I thought this match was awesome. I'm very curious to see how this third hour does because of just how these guys have been pushed lately.
It won't do well.
Yeah, I don't think it'll do well. I think that third hour is going to suffer a big drop.
Big time. Yes, it will.
Yeah, that apology thing was a weak hook to try and keep people tuned in.
I mean, we'll see if that third hour, if it doesn't drop as much as other weeks, then that says something about Becky's drawing power, because that's been one of the things is that business has, the shows that Becky is on hasn't helped business at all as far as ratings and attendance goes. About if it is starting to kick in, we'll see tomorrow.
Did Daniel Bryan, when he was making his meteoric rise, but it wasn't, because they kept restarting him and punishing him, punishing him. Then finally had no choice when Punk left to put him in that slot at Mania, right, and put the belt on him finally. But my question to you is, did he do that? When he was super over, was he bringing mainstream fans over and people that normally don't watch?
No,
right?
Yeah.
There you go.
You know what's weird about a lot of these storylines, though? It's that week to week they seem really repetitive and monotonous. But man, you watch the best of, the DVD, the documentary, the WWE cuts together from those moments, like the Yes Movement invasion of Raw, things like that. They look like the most epic storylines ever. But when you're watching them unfold, they really don't quite connect the same way that they do when you look at the beats in retrospect.
You're right.
So this tonight, it was something. So I recommend watching that tag match tonight. I thought it was good. It woke the crowd up. They won with the Shadow Machine. Gable, and this is where it's really weird, to your point, Matt, that Gable is doing the mini Bobby Roode thing, is because Gable, I mean, when he did that bridge pin from the move, the double team move, Gable is like just one of the best pure mechanical wrestlers. Yeah, so good. He's better than that gimmick.
I was surprised they gave him so much time. This was like an NXT match, given time and a lot of false finishes and things like that. It was I mean, I was just thinking if this was a takeover crowd, and this crowd was good too, but you know, just the extra electricity that a takeover crowd has, it would have been even more awesome. But I thought this was just great. I thought this was the best tag team division match I've seen on Raw in forever. I can't even think of the last time.
Yeah. So use this as the chance to reboot the whole thing, the whole division. I think they could do some really cool stuff from this, but yeah, we'll see how they pick up the ball and run with it next week. So the final segment, Becky came out and begrudgingly decided to apologize to Triple H and Steph. Then Vince came out, said, I don't accept your apology. I'm suspending you for 60 days. It means you'll be out of Mania. So instead, we have Charlotte Flair to face Ronda Rousey. Good night, everybody. And that's how they went off the air.
Yeah, first they made Becky apologize. So McMahon's demanded it. She finally does it. And then, yeah, Vince comes out and says, oh, sorry, they're suspended for 60 days, which falls after WrestleMania. So, yeah, there you go. That's where you're getting Charlotte in the match. I thought that was kind of a weak way to insert her in as far as the storyline goes.
Doesn't need to be in this match. And I like her better than all three out of all three of them. Charlotte's my favorite for the record.
Wow.
I just do not. She's my favorite female wrestler. I just don't want her part of this match because Becky doesn't need it.
I agree with you. I do see Charlotte as a bigger star than not as a bigger star, but I
know, yes,
a better wrestler than Becky, and I find her more entertaining personally. But Becky's the one that's hot, so that's who the fans are with. That's who they should be going with. It should be one-on-one. It just dilutes it by adding someone else. If it was Hogan and Andre and Duggan, it's not the same, right?
Or someone who wants a comparative, and a proper analogy, throw in Macho Man or not Jake Rabbit or Ultimate Warrior. Right. It's Paul not Orndorff. The same damn thing.
Right. It's just not the same. Rock versus Austin is iconic. Rock versus Austin versus Triple H. They're all huge stars, but it's just not doesn't have that same compelling story, that buzz to it.
Yep.
So tomorrow, I'm bummed. So I'm going to be out for tomorrow night's podcast, but I'm going to be watching the opening segment of SmackDown.
Wait, you're out next week, right?
No, and tomorrow. Tomorrow's the second Tuesday of the month. I got my local
all right.
commitments, but I'm going to be watching the first segment of SmackDown because I want to see what's going to happen next with this. I'm assuming Charlotte and Becky are going to have some sort of confrontation.
Glenn, are you in local theater?
No, Matt, following your lead, I'm now involved in the local political party. So we meet the second Tuesday of every month.
Is it the guy that you helped run, or is it by yourself?
No, it's more organized. It's the local Democratic Party. So
very cool. Good for
you. So second Tuesday of every month, I got that going on, and then next week I just got a day job commitment, unfortunately. But I'm tuning into SmackDown tomorrow night because this storyline, while it angers me, it does keep me wanting to see what happens next.
What do you think is going to happen? You think she'll be on tomorrow?
I think Charlotte's going to come out and gloat. I think Becky's going to show up out of nowhere and kick the crap out of her.
Okay.
Yeah, I could kind of see that.
What else do they have going on, guys? So
that was not the time because suspended did not put her on TV, though.
Yeah, but 4 episodes in a row. So we've had SmackDown Raw. So tomorrow, I mean, they know Becky is the only thing that's keeping people tuning in right now.
Right. They did more. We're miscounting this proper.
Did we? Was it more than that? Well, it started with SmackDown 2 weeks ago. Yes. Then it was Raw last week. Then SmackDown last week. Then Raw tonight. So that's 4 in a row that I count. So I think tomorrow's going to be 5. When's that happened? Did Roman ever do that? Did Daniel Bryan or CM Punk ever do that?
They probably did back when they weren't single branded shows.
But 4 in a row opening segments?
Probably, yeah. If you were the champ, probably.
I would guess Cena was the last one to do this.
I could see Triple H for sure.
Oh yeah.
But that's a testament. So regardless of the story, Becky is not going away off TV. They know that her retaliation and rebellion in fighting this is going to be the hottest angle in the company between now and Mania. Sure as hell isn't going to be Paul Heyman facing off with Seth Rollins.
That being said, I think it'd be good to keep her off TV tomorrow, sell it a little bit, and then you could do something at Fastlane where she shows up, or next week.
Why does Fastlane even have to happen?
Really, Elimination Chamber and Fastlane should be combined into one pay-per-view.
Fastlane's not sold out. AEW Double or Nothing sold out today in the pre-sale.
Why does Elimination Chamber even have to happen?
Yeah. I bet you Double or Nothing has sold more tickets than Elimination Chamber and Fastlane.
Oh, I'll take that bet. I mean, I agree with that. Yes.
Yeah, the pre-sale was like 12,000 tickets, I think.
For what, Double or Nothing?
Yeah.
Just
for the pre-sale. Now the regular sale tickets are going to go on sale later this week. I mean, there's only like a couple thousand left. They're going to go quick. It's crazy.
Were people expecting it to sell? I thought people were expecting it to sell out pre-sale. No,
they didn't put all the tickets for pre-sale.
Yeah, but people are pissed. I mean, people couldn't get them today because now that it's such a hot item, now you got the scalpers and the bots and.
Really?
Yeah, tickets are like 3 times more expensive on StubHub.
This is a stupid question. Why not put everything on pre-sale?
Well, you tier it out, so supposedly you can try and beat the scalpers a little bit by parceling it out. It rarely happens. I don't know. Everything's very weird now with buying tickets. It's part of why I don't like it. It's part of why I like
the arena. You're the company. Why do you give a crap what scalpers do with your tickets? They purchase the ticket. That's all you should care about.
Yeah, but for AEW, this is about the fans, and you don't want the tickets going. I mean, so Springsteen runs in this problem. Billy Joel runs in this problem. This is why they always add more shows, because the idea is they want everybody who wants to see it to be able to see it without having to pay a 5 times inflated price.
Oh.
I mean, Matt, if you're wrestling for the fans, if the Blueprints fans are coming out to watch you, the DNA of TNA, doing it live, you want your fans to be able to get it at a fair price, not paying some middleman scalper who doesn't give a shit about you, only cares about making money, and is going to charge them 5 times that amount for them to see you.
Right. Oh, it makes sense to me. So yeah, you had to you got a pre-sale code. And so basically that party, that Double or Nothing ticket party, was to sign up to get a code. And then with that code, you could go buy tickets when they went on, for the pre-sale code. So you can buy them when they go on sale.
Pretty cool. And
yeah, man, it's kind of crazy. It's, I mean, a second instant sellout. It's, at the MGM, WWE has a hard time in Vegas. So
this is considered another sellout.
It will be for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, today people were pissed off they couldn't get tickets. So I'm assuming if they can't move this to a larger venue.
What house?
They can't move it now. No.
What did they do in Chicago?
Was it 10,000?
Yeah, it was 11,000.
Holy crap! So they just did more.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I mean, it's interesting because they're like their rally on YouTube. It did like 400,000 views.
I watched it.
Yeah, which is not that many views. So it's
I love them. I didn't think it was very good though, except for Omega and Jericho.
We'll get to that here in a minute.
People opportunity to talk, and I'm all about new people getting their opportunity. But there's people that were cutting promos that should not have been cutting promos.
Yeah, I agree. And also with Jericho and Omega, I wish they would have done that a little differently. Just because by this point, anyone that follows them, everyone that's watching knows they're all buddies, right? So if you did it.
I can suspend my disbelief though for that.
Yeah, but if you could have played off of that, like Jericho just comes out to, say, "Hey, man, that's great that you signed, but you should have told me," like being like,
"What? You should have told me."
Yeah, something like that. Like he's upset.
Boyfriend? What do you mean?
Well, yeah, like Jericho's the top dog there, and now Omega's coming in, taking his heat. Like Flair and like Flair and Funk, Terry Funk. You remember that after Flair beat Steamboat? And Terry Funk came in and is like, started off friendly and then it escalated. And before the end, Flair's head was in a plastic bag.
Driven into the table.
Right. Yes. So if they did something like that, where it started off friendly and escalated, I think that would have just made it a little more realistic, a little more organic.
What's up with his promos, dude? His talking is not improving.
People like it. People love him.
He's got to stop talking like this. Because every time I over-enunciate every word I say, it shows that I'm talking like a weirdo. And it doesn't sound like, I'm not saying he's got to scream and yell, but it doesn't sound real either, though. It's something about it. Like, is he trying to be a smart ass? Is he not? And I'm as big as Mark. I love Kenny Omega. Huge.
Yeah.
Just, I don't get the promos. Why they've not improved, or Jericho hasn't pulled him aside yet, or someone hasn't pulled him aside and said, "Dude, this is all you're missing right now. It's just this little part."
Yeah,
yeah. I liked a lot of his stuff heading into his match with Tanahashi, though. When he was talking about Tanahashi's style being outdated and Tanahashi being old, I thought that stuff was really good.
Yeah,
but I get what you mean. Like humble Kenny Omega, it's just not as exciting. I don't know. But still amazing stuff that they're
cadences. No, there's something about his cadence. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
It throws me off.
Yeah.
So the rumor is Batista might be coming back. Potential Hall of Fame this year, or just coming back to wrestle?
Hall of Fame. That makes a lot of sense. But hold on one second. Let me pull that up. So yeah, Batista, WWE apparently has contacted him about wrestling again, and let's get that up. And apparently AEW has contacted him as well. So according to the report at Pro Wrestling Sheet, that Batista is in deep talks with WWE for a potential match at WrestleMania 35, but AEW is also interested, and Batista is reportedly 50-50 on returning at this point.
Wow.
Based on how the talks have gone with WWE.
He ain't going nowhere to AEW.
I don't see it. I don't see what he would do there.
Not his style either.
There's no one that fits for him. Everyone there is so small outside of Jericho.
Right.
Maybe Omega. Yeah, I'm sure there would be something with that, but I just don't see it. That dynamic just seems off.
It wouldn't work for him. He needs the smoke and mirrors. He needs the sizzle.
Yeah.
The WWE production truck. He needs that. Not because he's not good or anything, but that's part of his persona. That's part of his character.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see. I mean, obviously, Batista comes back to WWE. Triple H is the obvious, was the obvious match. There's no one else really built for Triple H right now.
Okay, you know what? You want a big Mania match? There you go. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, because if you don't, is that Triple H out of Mania? You got Undertaker and Triple H both out of WrestleMania. It's
about damn time.
Yeah, that actually might help. But
it's not as much to look forward to, right? But by the same token, it needs to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Even though I would have liked to see Braun beat Taker at Mania.
Yes.
It's kind of like a final hurrah, as opposed to Undertaker losing his last match in a tag match in Saudi Arabia.
No, passing the torch to another fellow big man. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
No, I agree. Dean Ambrose versus Nia Jax. Not happening.
Yeah, so WWE was had some advertisements made, advertisements, whatever that Dean Ambrose would be facing Nia Jax at a house show.
Yeah.
And
really?
Yeah, they had a video promo and everything. And so I guess they scaled back on it, said it was an old spot. They changed their minds, and that's not happening now. So it looks like that Dean Ambrose, Nia Jax stuff they were teasing, it looks like that's done. So,
good. It's a no-win situation.
Yeah, because I can't picture – because at some point in a match, you got work punches, right? I cannot see Dean throwing work punches at Nia.
Look, it won't look right.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's that visual.
A guy hitting a girl. I just don't want to see it.
Right.
Yeah.
Weird.
So probably for the best, not happening. And then lastly, Jay White wins the IWGP Heavyweight Championship.
Are you shitting me?
Yeah, he won it.
He's the IW. What?
Yep. Yeah, he won it. He beat Tanahashi.
Tanahashi for it? Wow.
At New Beginning this morning. So Jay White is the new IWGP champion. Tanahashi only held it for 38 days, defeated Kenny Omega at Wrestle Kingdom in early January. And so, yeah, Jay White, they're going all the way with this guy.
Why?
I gotta say, like when I was at the New Japan event in San Francisco, I did feel like he came across as like the one that him even more than Cody at that show, like really working on this aura and having a big personality and being like a top heel. So I was impressed by him. I feel like this is way too soon. I think he's definitely on the right track. But I feel like maybe with Omega leaving, they needed to just jump the gun and get something going. And especially with the Madison Square Garden show, I wonder if they maybe felt like they needed someone like a Jay White in the main event.
It used to be such a big deal for an American to win that title.
Well, Jay White's Australian, but yeah.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, but still.
Right. Like what do you call it?
Someone who's not Japanese.
Gaijin.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm sorry, not Australia. New Zealand. He's from New Zealand.
It's a huge deal, though. And now it's not. It's like they're letting cruiserweights win that stuff now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I remember when Kenny Omega, when they put him in the Bullet Club, it felt, and he was replacing AJ Styles, it felt a little soon then too. and he took off to another level. So,
but look how long it took him.
Yeah,
it took him a good long time to win that title when he should have done it a little bit earlier than when they finally pulled the trigger on him. If you remember, Kenny should have won it. I argue in his first matchup versus what's his name? Come on,
Okada.
Thank you.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like Omega's title reign was kind of underwhelming.
Yeah.
So.
Get dude super popular, but doesn't matter. He's AEW now, right? So
yeah, but both him and Chris Jericho can work for New Japan. They have a thing in their contracts where they can work for them. I think New Japan is interested. New Japan, they got rid of the Young Bucks, Cody, their names off their profile page, but they've kept Jericho and Omega. So I don't think we've seen the end of them.
Now, why would they do that? Is Kenny's a vice president of AEW as well?
I don't know. Maybe they just feel like they really need him, so they're willing to work out whatever deal with him.
It's interesting because it's the Bucks, in my opinion, that always made the Bullet Club the Bullet Club.
And I got to say, I feel like New Japan and ROH really have lost some momentum with these.
That move.
Yeah, I mean, with these AEW signings, the ROH shows this last week, it just felt like it's going to take a little bit to get back to where it was as far as buzz goes.
They also lose SCW. What's it called? SCU. Sorry.
Yeah. So what about them?
Kaz and
right. This guy.
Ring of Honor.
So they were with AEW as well.
I know. So are they done with Ring of Honor?
Yeah. They're done with Ring. Yeah. No one with AEW is with Ring of Honor.
What's up with Dalton Castle lately?
He's with Ring of Honor.
Still? Oh, I know he dropped the title last year, but I mean, is he?
Oh yeah. He just wrestled just recently.
No, I think he's got. Man, he could do great in WWE or AEW.
He's hurting, but
yeah.
Well, we don't know if he'll do great in AEW. I think until we see something, but.
Yeah, although they've got the pockets, man. I mean, it's not about making money.
At some point, it's going to be.
Yeah, but
nobody just loves losing money. At some point, you want a return on that investment.
But you got to figure if you're billionaires and you really love wrestling,
no,
you're
not going to be like, hey, let's spend $100 million a year for a wrestling organization. That's not returning anything.
Unless you're Ted Turner.
Saudi Prince does it.
Yeah. See?
Yeah. Well, part of that is for propaganda. I mean, that was a paid ad. But
okay, let's say you're a multi-billionaire, Raj. You're a billionaire 3 times over. You've got $3 billion. Wow. Yeah. You don't think you'd spend, $50 million a year to run a wrestling promotion and just think, hey, if it could break even.
No, not if you got. No, I wouldn't. Not if I didn't get anything out of it. I mean, Ted Turner got ratings out of it. It was, the top-rated show on TBS. So he could write off the losses while also getting big ratings for the station. So, ultimately it helped him out. And towards the end, WCW did have some profitable years under Bischoff.
That's true. Well, before we take it home, Matt Morgan, anything you want to plug?
No. Oh, yes. March 16th. Okay, March 16th. I'll come into retirement for one more match.
Right.
For a fundraiser I am hosting here in the city of Longwood, Florida. We are having a wrestling event here on March 16th, 2 p.m. bell time at Ryder Park. It's a new multi-million-dollar park that we just got put up in our city. It's a really big to-do. It's a beautiful park. It's got a beautiful just the whole backdrop, the whole setting of it's perfect to put a wrestling show in. Let me tell you that much. And we're doing this fundraiser to raise money for our Lyman High School, it's the name of our local high school, football team getting flex helmets or anti-concussion helmets.
Nice.
These things are $300, $350 a pop.
Wow.
So to be able to afford them, parents can't afford that. Booster clubs can't afford that. So I'm trying to think outside the box and ways to raise funds for this. And I did a wrestling event very similar to this last year. We raised like $13,000, not charging admission, but just asking for suggestive donations. So any of you guys that live in Florida, please come on out, especially Central Florida, obviously. Please come on out March 16th, 2 p.m. bell time, please.
And did you figure out who you're wrestling yet?
I have no clue.
Oh, so surprise opponent.
So
stay tuned.
Yes.
Absolutely. See what happens. Cool, man. Raj, what's coming up on the site?
Tons of stuff. We got interviews with Rob Van Dam, Davey Boy Smith Jr., Tangaloa. So just tons of stuff. Got another one coming up with Billy Gunn. So just keep checking out the site. We got tons of stuff coming in all the time.
Nice. I'm Glenn Rubenstein. You can find me on Twitter at Glenn Rubenstein. Would appreciate a follow where I live tweet along with WWE events when they're happening. And go to iTunes. Leave us a rating and a review. 5 stars helps other people discover this podcast, and we greatly appreciate it. Until next time, I'm Glenn Rubenstein, and we'll see you back here on the Wrestling Inc. podcast. Take care.